From the Middle is proud to be a founding member of Odd Pods Media. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of From the Middle. We are three middle-class guys in the middle chapters of our lives with the point of view of somewhere in the middle. And this week, Dillon was in the middle of the middle Americas. Is that a term? I don't know. I'm coining it right now. But Dillon's back, and we spent some time talking about his Cadillac Escalades at Costa Rica. But before we do that, we also touch a little bit on AI, Chat GPT, and our thoughts on where that's all going. But Dillon earned / at the same time didn't earn. It's very confusing to hear him explain it. But we're glad that Dillon got to go on this work, not work trip. And we're going to hear all about it. And there's lots of questions and some etiquette stuff and getting naked and robes and all sorts of weird things that happen when you're on vacation. Check it out.
Oh, for the love. Sorry, just clearing my Mountain Dew hole. I got my phone hole cleaned today.
That's where you keep it? You're so cerebral and you're so developed and evolved. From the Middle after dark over here.
All right, guys, we need your help really quick. Just before we hit record, Dillon and I were discussing words. There's a word out there that they say the more you say it, the more it starts to sound like you're pronouncing it incorrectly. And we can't figure out what that word is, but both of us have definitely heard that before. The conversation started because I was struggling with the word escapades. And then we just started saying rural and funny in different ways over and over again to each other until Corey showed up. And then I felt kind of embarrassed.
And then all the fun stopped.
So there's a word out there somewhere.
I just Googled it. Do you want me to say what I?
Yeah.
I don't feel like this is what the term I remember hearing, but semantic satiation.
No, that is definitely not it.
That didn't seem right to me either.
Semantic satiation. What is it?
Satiation, like you're satiated, like
satiation. No, that's not it.
Let's see what ChatGPT says.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's not rural.
What's the word that the more you say it, the more you start to feel like you're pronouncing it incorrectly?
I know exactly what you mean. Words like kernel or even pronunciation can do that. The more you say them, the stranger they sound, even though they're totally correct. It's a weird...
No, it's not one of those. No.
Pronunciation?
Kernel? I don't... ChatGPT is so last year. We're on to Claude now, okay?
Yeah, I know.
We've moved on.
I have found Chat GPT to be incorrect.
I've heard recently from a lot of people that they feel that Chat GPT like plays right down the middle. Like whatever you're kind of asking it, it kind of just like finds... I was having it help me figure out what kind of like binoculars I needed. Maybe that's the word, binoculars.
And maybe. And, and I gave it prompts and information and things, answered its questions and such. And it started pumping out some pretty good suggestions, but there were a couple things that it got totally wrong as far as like specs go. And it swapped a couple of things so like just like factual specifications of the binoculars, and like I gently called it out, and it's like, oh, I can understand your confusion, but here's what it's. And I'm like, no, like factually, when I look it up, like on the website, it says this. He's like, oh, you know what? You're totally right. That's my bad.
And how many people are taking what ChatGPT is saying is gospel?
Yeah. But I've run into that kind of thing literally only a couple of times, but it has happened enough times. That's enough to say, hey, double check ChatGPT.
It's not infallible.
I'm gonna describe something that started making me feel annoyed with ChatGPT it's going to sound exactly like what it's supposed to do, but it's not. And I found it really annoying. I don't know what version I was on. Maybe I was using it wrong. I'm open to the fact that I could be wrong. I would ask for something and it would give me its normal response. But then within the window, it started giving me two different versions of the responses side by side, and it wanted me to grade them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, which again, if you think, isn't that what AI is for, to like give you good options and answer? No, it's not like it was giving me options within one response. It was giving me two totally different worded, formatted types of responses and different lengths.
Yeah.
And it's like it wanted me to thumbs up or thumbs down the good and bad one. I'm like,
Right.
this isn't like the same sentence slightly reworded. This is like, these are structurally different responses.
Right.
It's weird for my brain to try to like, it's like handing somebody an Xbox controller and a PlayStation controller with two different TVs and in two different hands, and they're saying play different games at the same time. And it was just like, no, I don't. Yes, they're technically both video games, but this isn't.
Yeah.
It's not how this works.
I get you. Like, when I had that experience with Chat GPT as well, the exact same thing. And I was like, don't put a decision in front of me. Like, that's
right.
I would have been perfectly happy with either one of these. Now I'm not happy with either one of them because I know the other one potentially exists. Like that's the issue that I had with that question, because then like I read through both of them and I tried to take it real serious. And I was like, well, if I get this one, then like this one's like lacking some emphasis that the other one did, which I think is important. And so like, I don't know, I want both. Like,
I know. I can't be bothered to compare and contrast. This isn't 7th grade English. I want you to give me the best answer all at one time. And then we'll have a conversation as I read and respond. I'm also get to the point where sometimes it's too wordy. And sometimes I want to be like, I don't want you to respond with more than, unless I need like a phrase. Like, unless I say this is for a project, I want all your responses to be less than 3 to 4 sentences. And when I say this is a project, then give me all the length of copy that I need for something. But sometimes the responses are so wordy. I'm like, I didn't need that much. Too much.
I remember the scenario you're describing, but I felt like that only happened to me once when I was first using it. And it was asking me, how do you want me to format my responses? But you're saying they were completely different responses?
Yeah, like it gave you almost like two samples. Like you ask the question and it wasn't like a setup, how do you want me to answer kind of prompt. It just said, here's two complete long form answers to that same question.
In side by side bubbles.
Yeah.
It almost like you text one person for an answer and two different people from different numbers text you back answers.
and you're choosing which one was more helpful to you.
And they're different lengths and formatted differently.
Maybe I misread that same prompt, because I thought that was basically just asking me, how do you want me to respond from here on out? In what format? In what tone of voice? In what, like, maybe I misread.
I mean, that was part of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I didn't care for that.
Well, we're not here to talk about ChatGPT. I am so excited to hear from my brother, who has just returned from
his escapades. His first trip out of the country.
True.
Right?
Yep.
Your first vacation in a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it wasn't just a work trip. This was an incentive trip where you had no work to do.
Correct.
I can't wait to hear all about it.
It was a trip that work paid for with no work meetings, and work people happened to be there not working while I was not working.
Nice.
I can't. I want like the longest version. Hey, Dillon GPT, you can give me the longest version of this.
No TLDR.
This is one heck of a step up from when they let you build Megadesk.
This is way different. Yeah, it's true. We had and really the really fast version of Why Me on the trip, like Why the Incentive Trip. It's really intended for sales reps. based on how they did last year. But there was a couple slots opened up on the trip that they decided peers could vote for people who had a big impact on the greater sales team, but maybe didn't have their own sales like goal target, but helped the whole team broadly. So I don't say that for self-edification purposes, but like this is not normally a thing I'd get to do because I don't sell directly. But a lot of people felt the need to pick me as the person that should get a go to enjoy the trip as well. So I say all of that to say we took a trip to Costa Rica for 5 days, 5, 6 days, somewhere 5 days maybe. And I kept feeling throughout. I mean, I think if you hit a goal, you get to go on a trip, you can kind of pound your fist on your chest a little bit, in pride, right? But like this was a different kind of thing. It was like a gratefulness to get a go because like I didn't have to be picked, and it was not a question of deservedness, but just that there could have just as equally been other people that could have gotten to go that would have made sense, but I was picked. So it wasn't so much that I was there because I felt like, yeah, I crushed this sales goal, but like I got to go because other people felt like I'd helped them a lot and supported them really well.
All the hedging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no.
You were the chosen one, literally.
Not literally, but not hedging in the sense that like
hedging the hedging.
It's not a deservedness thing. I'm giving you my mindset throughout was a very, very grateful.
Namaste.
It was a very grateful. Had a very grateful attitude while I was there, especially grateful. Not that I wouldn't have been anyways, but so we went to Costa Rica. We flew out very early Wednesday morning. I didn't know the airport opened that early, but it did. It was my first international trip. That's true. So I got my passport a little while back. I had downloaded a bunch of movies and I watched a handful of those. We can talk about those at the end. But yeah, good flights. Let's see, through Dallas to Costa Rica, to Liberia. And then on the way back, it was through Miami back to Columbus. But right away, first things first, getting out at the airport. Feel free to interrupt me at any point with questions.
Well, I don't want to stop this at all. I'm excited for the Midler take on international travel, all-inclusive resort from a Midler. Like that's
yeah. That's playing to the gratefulness thing. Speaking of which, so we landed at the airport. Looks and feels pretty small. It's not a major airport. Maybe more so, question for both of you, but I know, Corey, you travel a lot. Have you ever exited a plane directly onto the tarmac?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. This is not a thing I had done. I've flown domestically, not internationally. So exiting directly out onto the tarmac, pretty warm in Costa Rica this time of year. So you're feeling the heat right away. So it's a nice little airport. We're just kind of, very small. Right away, first person in customs that I go up to, hello. You get this sort of like, you're clearly a tourist, and they respond with hola, because it's not, I said hello. They do the thing, we do the thing. So we're working our way through this very small airport. And the customs was fun because I don't really know what to expect. I've not done customs. Not only have I not done customs anywhere, I feel like very reasonably there could be a difference between customs in Europe at a large airport versus customs in Central America at a small airport. Could be different than customs in Asia. Could be different than customs depending on size of airport, depending on destination country, depending on where you're coming from. So I have no clue what to expect. And it was a guy on a lawn chair and 2 conveyor belts with all the stuff, and he's just sort of like, "Yep, come on in, everybody." And there's guards say Liberia. I don't know. Did I say that?
You did. I was like, you said Dallas, Liberia, and I was like, that's on the way. Anyway, sorry, not trying to interrupt.
Yeah, Corey's using chat. Through Dallas to Liberia, which is where the airport was in Costa Rica.
Okay, there's another Liberia. Continue.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is the city. Liberia as in the capital, not as in the
Not
country.
the country. Got it. Guy on a lawn chair.
The guy on the lawn chair waved me through just fine.
Were there chickens anywhere running around?
There would be, not yet. Yeah, not to, yeah. But yeah, there was. So come to learn that Costa Rica has disbanded their military for like 50 years. They have no military. They have security. They have some dogs. They're just kind of randomly picking maybe 1 out of 50 people to like check bags and stuff. Almost everyone else is going through the guy in the lawn chair. You know what I mean? So that was already really nice. That was just an easy path. I will say my favorite thing in the Costa Rican airport was because it was so small. There wasn't like a lot. There was not a lot of sightseeing at the airport, but we needed to use the restroom. We'd been flying for a while, so like let's find the bathrooms. And the two, the gender signs above the bathroom, basically 2 stick figures. And the only difference between the two, because I had to stare for just a second, the female gender sign had little curvy hips. So that was your indicator of where we can probably find an image online. So little curvy hipped stick figure versus a non-curvy hipped stick figure.
What if you're a big bottomed man?
I know. I think they would. You just got to figure it out. So that was good. We had very nice shuttle. We didn't have to go very far to get to the all-inclusive resort that was included, which, by the way, that's another benefit of this whole thing. It was planned by the revenue team chief of staff. I, at no point in my life as an adult, have been able to just show up on a vacation to which I've done no work or helped assisted in planning. So it's just like flights are booked, hotels are booked, food's all paid for. Just show up, make sure you have your passport and show up, and you can just enjoy the trip. So we got shuttled to the all-inclusive resort, and in a really cool Chinese shuttle that we're not allowed to have in America that was very techy. I'm going to have to look up the name. Yeah, there's the airport. It's just a little guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just a nice little Guanacaste. Yeah. Costa Rica is where we went. The Liberia International Airport.
LIR, baby.
I know, because I kept seeing Liberia on the flights, and I was confused with the country for a minute because I'm thinking,
I kind of worried maybe.
That can't be like the
Africa.
Yeah, it can't be like you're going through Africa to get to South America, Central America. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. You were going to have to find a clock tower, you were thinking, then to wait for it to strike midnight.
Exactly.
Something,
See if you can find the hippie.
Get away from the Libyans.
Yeah, exactly. So the shuttle car from China was kind of crazy, very techy. That was cool. And then we got to the resort. And so then 15, 20 minutes later, I don't know, we didn't go very far. We got to our resort, which was lovely. And we left so early. I think we were there by like 2:30 in the afternoon on the first day. So we basically had the rest of the day. Time zone wise changed because not everyone's into geography. It normally would only be an hour behind because it's just Central Standard Time. But because of daylight savings time, which they do not recognize, it was 2 hours behind because we're now on daylight savings time. So 2 hours behind. So 4:30 would have been my time. But it was great. We were kind of strolling around. We're taking a look at the resort, pools. It's on the beach. It's in a bay that is opened up to the Pacific Ocean. So it's on the west side of Central America. So the bay was really nice and quiet. The beach was really quiet. There were multiple restaurants in the resort. There's a spa in the resort, and lots of activities one could go do. And if one were into that. And as part of this trip, we had a budget like, hey, you have excursion money. Whatever you want to spend excursion money on is fine, and just kind of charge it, and anything above and beyond that is on you. Well, spa was included in the excursion list. So that's what I did. I booked multiple spa treatments. Speaking of firsts, I've never had a massage done anywhere or been to a spa. So I'm thinking I don't need to go get on a boat, deep sea fishing, or snorkel. I am going to use the money at the spa. So I did that. I booked multiple spa treatments across the few days for massages. And that was lovely. We can talk more about that if you want. And where do we go? Oh yeah, there's the bay, Patagayo Bay. I think.
Okay, so there's the city center, San Jose.
Yeah.
There's Liberia where you flew into.
Yep.
You were on this little guy,
Papagayo Bay. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that looks like it.
Anyway,
Yeah. So yep. So they had lots of nice stuff people could go do. I was not interested in trying to run around and do a bunch of different activities. Uh, and so, yeah, I leaned into the spa, bro. The spa.
it's Sebastian.
Oh my, bro, the spa was incredible.
I need to know what you're thinking going into it. Like, are you like, what's the etiquette? We talked about this. Like, do you guy girl? Is this a full body rub down? I
would have anxiety walking into a spa, just going through all of the scenarios in my head.
Having never done it. So first of all, just even looking at the list of treatment, because you can like scan a QR code in the room and then get the list of treatments. And then I'm thinking, okay, I've never done this. There's like full body, hot stone, whatever. And then there's stuff as simple as hand and foot massage. I'm like, that feels very approachable for somebody who's never been to a spa or done a massage. Let's start there. And I'm looking at the other activities in the resort. And on the day after I booked the first spa thing, Kendall, you'll very much appreciate, they had a coffee tasting. So I'm like, cool. I'll do a spa thing one day. I'll give myself a coffee tasting the next day. I'll do another spa thing the day after that. So each day I'll just have something little I go do and I'll break it up. And the second spa day, I'm looking through the list, also kind of thinking about prices and budget and things like that. And so they have a neck, shoulders, back. I'm thinking if I can get through hands and feet and that's okay, neck, shoulders, and back should be no problem. I'm not sure about hot stone and, other stuff that like, okay, one step at a time. So that was my thinking looking at this list of things like hands, feet, seems easy. Never done this before. Don't know what the layout is. Am I going like, are we down to skibbies? Am I under a towel? I don't know. Mm-hmm. I've never even walked into a spa before to ask questions. So
this is so great. This is so great.
So we have dinner the first night, which is everybody. They say, hey, this is the last like big meal we'll plan. If people want to, the first night we'll do a big meal for everybody. After every other night after this, you guys can do whatever you want every day for lunch, dinner, meet up with a group, do your own thing. Totally fine.
Now, like how many from your company are there?
So some people couldn't go that qualified, I would say. People, and they could bring their spouses. So I don't know, there's probably 10 employees. And then 6 or 7 have spouses. Most have spouses.
Of the 10, how many are work friends? And are these like, oh, I don't know. I know them by name, but I never associate with these people. Like, what's the level of camaraderie with the 10?
I have had at least a half a dozen to a dozen distinct conversations and meetings with everyone who's been there.
Each person?
With each person, like not the spouses, but the employees.
Yeah. With each employee. Okay.
Yeah. So everyone knows everyone by name. I've had conversations with everyone before. Yeah, I wouldn't.
I'm setting the stage because this would change my engagement in your story. So going into the trip, like at the airport and stuff, are people like planning on hanging out, or do you get the vibe that everybody's like, no expectations, we're all doing our own thing, 6 of us have spouses here, I'll see you at the airport on the way back? Like, what's the level of expectation?
All of that completely uncommunicated beforehand. My expectation going in, which was true, everyone gets along with everybody for the most part. People will peel off and do their own things, but I expect some people want to hang out in small groups and eat meals together, not just with their spouses, but like people will want to get together and do things. And I went in thinking, I went by myself. If I'm by myself the whole time, my feelings aren't hurt, right? Like, I'm gonna just relax and enjoy
I'm just grateful
it.
to be here.
Yeah,
Thanks
exactly.
for
I'm just there's going to be enough if I don't have to have anything to do. I can literally just sit and sweat and drink Diet Coke and eat food. By the way, all inclusive. So like everything on all the menus, just enjoy whatever as much as you want, right? So, and as I learned, that's not how this resort operates unless you're a group. So someone else was explaining to me, I don't know if this is a thing, it makes total sense. They're like, I've been to all-inclusive resorts before. When they're all-inclusive for everybody, the food standard doesn't always have to be quite so high because everyone's eating off of this buffet basically at all times. This place is charging most guests nice prices for all of the meals, depending on which restaurant you go to, and you only get all inclusive with a group. So like they can't charge high prices for crappy food because people are paying for this. Normally it's not all inclusive. So that was my experience. Everything was very good.
Nice.
But I'm expecting to I'm going to maybe see some people, maybe not see some people. Whoever was around will chit chat. So
Is that a deal your company worked out, or do they offer all inclusive for groups, or do they just say, hey, all of our people are covered, whatever they want?
I think it's only offered to groups. I think you have to be booking
Got
as a
it.
group to get that option because everyone knew that worked there. They like almost before we'd even mention it. You're the all-inclusive group. Got it. Get whatever we'll throw it on your room, but like it's all included, whatever. So like everyone was aware of who we were and
Nice.
what we were doing there. So anyways, first night dinner, kind of in this fancy restaurant-ish within like greater bar area, but then there's like an enclosed all glass room that's like a little nicer. We sit and eat. So then of course, because it's all inclusive, if there's 20 of us the first night or 15 of us, there's probably 2 or 3 appetizers to each person because people are just throwing this and you might have asked, or Bree might have asked, like, what'd you have for your first night dinner? I'm like, I honestly lost track. We tried so much stuff, literally can't remember. People there was braised beef, there was octopus stuff, there was shrimp, there was pizzas, there was lost track completely.
Yeah. We made them think twice about the all-inclusive policy.
Yeah, like we're not going to offer this to the American groups anymore, I think is what they were thinking. It was
the kid with the Captain America t-shirt is
not invited back. Yeah, I ate my share of shrimp and I ran, that's for sure. I literally can't even remember, but that's the spirit of everyone enjoying the time. It's like, you guys like the shrimp cocktail? 3 more shrimp cocktail. Like we're gonna, do you guys want the burrata? Get 4 burratas for the table, because why not? So we feasted for sure. So that was the first night. Then we're all kind of tired because we've all been traveling all day. But several pools, you can go swim in the ocean. There's the big egg-shaped chairs, but they're swings, so you can just kind of swing in those. There's shade. There's a gym. There's a spa. In my room was set up to where the door from the hallway goes into an open air, like a screened in porch with a swing and a couch and a chair and a coffee table. And then there's another key card to get into the sliding door into an actual room that's air conditioned with the bed, the bathroom, the rainfall shower, whatever, TV, and whatever. So you can kind of swing, open air, hear the howling monkeys, or you can go in your room. It's cooler, whatever. So
at any point, are you just like snickering to yourself? Like
many times. And there's no way to say this that doesn't sound it's ungrateful, but like the other thing that really struck me was how different than how we grew up with vacations. You know what I mean? Like, not a criticism of my childhood or any of the vacations. We had a lovely childhood and we had some very nice vacations for how we grew up and what we knew. We never questioned whether they were nice vacations. They were lovely. But this is a whole other layer, or level of vacationing. I think this first or second day, Corey texted you and Dad a picture of like a Coke can and the tall glass with ice and then a water, and there's a menu, and they're just constantly walking around checking, do you want any food? Do you need anything to drink? Sir, here's a tray with cold towels. Would you like a cold towel while you're sitting by the pool? We weren't doing any vacations with cold towels on trays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one was doing that.
I hear you. We were diving for stink bugs in the Motel 6 swimming pool.
Yeah, and it was fun. And that was fun too.
Absolutely.
It's just so different.
Which is what makes you telling this story so great, because you're not at the level where you're like poo-pooing Four Seasons, you know?
No, because this place could have 90+% like thumbs up online, and there's still people like crapping on this place because it wasn't good enough for whatever reason.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. The cold towels weren't cold enough.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, it could have had better fish in the taco options, you know? So anyway, so that was all really, you know, and little subtle things that were really nice, like the cold towels, constantly checking on drinks and food. They do a really great job at, there's always like subtle music around the resort. So nothing ever feels like, if you want music, it's there, but it's not overwhelming. There were TVs in this sort of outdoor shack area. If you wanted to go sit and watch sports or whatever, ESPN was on. You could always order poolside. You could always go sit and order food. They would bring you food wherever, room service, wherever you wanted food, they would bring you food. There was no shortage of options there.
At this point, your first night or your first day, like, are you going in thinking, I'm going to catch up on some Netflix? Or like, how do you plan to use this time coming into it? Are you like, I'm just along for the ride, whatever happens? Or are you like, I brought 3 books?
No books. Not because I don't read, but I often read on my phone, and I don't have a problem with reading on my phone if I want to read. I did download a bunch of stuff on an iPad. It was backed up and ready to go. But no, it was really like, I'm just going to sit and either rest or talk to people or be eating, or I'm just going to go sleep. And sure, when I would get back to my room, I'd shower and it's cool, and I'd throw on History Channel or something and sit and watch a little bit of something on TV. But no, it really wasn't like trying to binge to catch up on stuff. It really was like, I'm just here to chill. I've never done this. I can watch stuff other times. You don't need to watch stuff while I'm here unless I'm just laying on the bed cooling off. So that was kind of the first night was very relaxed. The spa day, though, to your point about walking in, I don't know. I'm like walking into this entrance of this. Literally, they could have done or said anything, and I wouldn't have known what was normal or not. So so they're just like, they hand me a cold towel and it's like, sir, your power juice, you know, and it's like a little thing, and it's like, looks like a green smoothie fruit juice thing, and I'm like, yeah, sure, you know, cheers.
Oh yeah, the power juice.
Yeah, the power juice.
I was wondering where you were.
Could have been you were supposed to like spread that on your neck or something stupid.
No clue. I would have had no.
See, that's the kind of thing that like I think like we would worry about. And like one of the things that I pictured in my mind if I ever went into a spa kind of situation was like they hand me a towel and then say you can change over there. And then now I'm thinking like how much changing am I doing? Like don't make me ask the question. Because I don't know the answer. This is my first time. Am I supposed to get completely naked under this towel? Right. Like what's protocol here?
Or they hand you a bowl of paste and you're like, oh, thank you. Or am I supposed to eat that? Is that guacamole? What is?
Yeah, I know.
Did I have some chips?
This is exactly what I'm saying. I no clue what I'm doing.
Well, I have a couple of questions about about this first half of your vacation, and I will ask them after we hear a word from some of our friends at Odd Pods Media.
What was Dillon supposed to do with the power juice?
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, what are we doing?
Why are you whispering?
Because all of our devices are constantly listening to us. Unless we take massive efforts to protect our online privacy, all the details of our lives will be in the hands of megacorporations.
Okay, sure, but this is the promo for our podcast. We need people to be able to hear us this time.
Why do we need a promo?
Oh, funny you should ask. We're now members of the Odd Pods Media Network.
Are they one of those global conglomerates?
No, they're just a really awesome podcast network full of great shows like ours.
Well, is there anything specific we need to say?
We should probably tell them what our podcast is about.
Oh, it's about how the algorithm shapes our lives and how tech companies profit off our personal information. We dabble in tech conspiracy theories and talk about how billionaires are all buttholes.
I don't think we should say buttholes in the promo.
But we already did twice.
Join us every other Monday for new episodes of Suggested Articles,
a podcast.
Each of us identify with one of the Golden Girls. I'm Sophia, Aaron is Dorothy, Kristen is Sweet Rose, and each week we'll have a guest sit in the Blanche spot, the naughty seat. Come join us on the lanai for some cheesecake.
Part of the Odd Pods Media Network.
The power juice was for the other end. I took it like a shot. I didn't know what I was supposed to do with it. So, was I supposed to sip it? Was this like a sherry on Frasier where I'm supposed to like just like, gently?
You just down the whole thing, and you've got like 5 people going, "Sir, hold, whoa!"
He took all of the power juice.
He drank all the power juice.
All of it. It was in a small. It looked like a shot glass. I thought I'm just supposed to take a quick hit of this juice, and I don't know. Sorry, you had questions. Go ahead.
So my first question is perhaps on Corey's behalf. So we recorded our last episode, presumably before you were packing for your trip, or as you were packing for your trip, before you were packing for your trip. Did you consider some of Corey's thoughts about what kinds of graphic T-shirts you were going to bring to wear to Costa Rica?
I don't think I thought so much about like which ones to wear during travel days. I mostly just my only real thought into t-shirts was like, I knew we were probably going to have some decent dinners as an option. So I'm like, somebody at work before we left used the term resort chic. I of course had to Google it. I don't know what that means.
I hate words like that.
So I've got like Izod kind of like beach button-up shirts and khaki shorts. I'm like, I know I need to take that probably for dinners. Everything else was just what t-shirts are comfortable to wear during the day with shorts. That's really the only, which tends to be my homage t-shirt. So, it's kind of like stuff that people typically see me wear on the podcast. It's like Ohio State or Captain America or the Blue Jackets or whatever. That's really the only thought I put into it.
Okay. That kind of as you were talking, and I think you might have answered it there. Did you try to avoid anything? For example, I could see some people wanting to avoid the Captain America T-shirt because you're like, I don't want to be seen as like the American.
No, in fact,
I know.
Yeah, they're gonna know. I was chatting with one of the servers, wait staff. I don't know. We got to talking about superheroes, probably because one of the shirts I had on. Yeah. And he said, we were talking about favorite. I said, do you like Marvel, DC, both? And he said, Marvel. And I said, who's your favorite superheroes? And he's saying Spider-Man and whoever else. And he asked me, I said, Captain America. And he said, why? Because like America. And he did that. And I said, no. I said, but I get it. I was like, it's his perpetual sense of justice. I'm like more so than probably even any other character. That's not his weakness. His weakness is not, will he do the just thing or not? He'll always do the just thing. He has others.
He is chaotic good.
Yeah. So
for the nerds out there.
Yeah, there you go. So it did kind of even quasi come up in conversation, but
Midler Sherry is now a flight attendant, and she says she can confirm that people do seem to wear destination shirts, either where they're from or where they're going, for the most part.
I could see people coming back in shirts from the place.
Sure, that's the easy one, right? Like, I was just there. But yeah, anyway, that's fascinating.
Yeah. Well, what's funny about that is that, like, so if those are the two options, if you can categorize that into two basic groups of people who do think about that to that extent about what they're going to wear on vacation, you have the people that are trying to fit where they're going, and then you have the people who are trying to express where they're from at where they're going. I would tend to be on the trying to fit where I'm going side of things,
which is to not wear a shirt from that place oftentimes.
Which would mean like, but still probably stick out like a sore thumb.
Exactly.
Anyway, second question for you, Dillon.
Yeah.
Is I couldn't help but think when you were talking about flying there and getting off on the tarmac, the first thing you mentioned was how hot it was outside. And my first thought was kind of about first impressions of Costa Rica. And would you consider that a bad first impression for someone who's like, really? I mean, I wanted to get off. My first impression would have been better if I could have gotten off the plane into an air conditioned space instead of hitting me with the humidity all at once. Was there any thought like that like, man, I wish I was walking down a tunnel to an air conditioned airport right now?
I mean, sure. I think that I probably naturally would have preferred that, but I think my impression of that was really just like, this must be a kind of small airport, like a pretty small airport then.
Yeah.
Not even so much like in a disappointed way, just like a matter of fact, like, my brain wasn't thinking about getting off on the tarmac and wheeling my luggage across the tarmac.
Cool.
That would have been ideal. But I think I've also said this before. Maybe other people relate to this. I don't like being sweaty and hot when I'm not prepared for it.
Right.
And that's way different. Like, I intentionally traveled in my kind of like comfy athletic shorts and a t-shirt and my like Olakai kind of airy shoes. So like I was getting off that plane, like it was 50 degrees in Columbus and I'm walking into the airport in Columbus at 4 a.m. with a t-shirt and shorts and whatever on. So I'm getting off the plane like knowing I'm going to be hot and probably sweating eventually.
Okay.
I didn't realize how far south you were. I mean, that's down there.
Yeah.
Costa Rica's.
It's right next to Panama, which is the one that connects Central America to South America for anyone not looking at the map. So yes, it's down there. It's very far south, much further from Mexico than South America, which I think we kind of generally think like, just south of Mexico, maybe, kind of. But I was asking, actually, it's funny you ask about temperature, because I was asking somebody about, is it going to get really hot in the next couple of months? They said, no. Our hottest part of the year is Easter. So we're actually coming out of the hottest part into rainy season, which is much nicer. So I think we caught him at a good time.
Good.
Yeah. Which meant naturally going into the spa, I was going to be sweaty anyways. So, whatever I needed to do, speaking of like, what do I wear? Headed into the spa. The power juice, I didn't get any tips on what to do there. But when I went back for the first massage, the guy did take me into a locker room and said, here's a locker, there's shoes, there's a robe, you can put your things in here. He said, hand, foot, it's okay if you don't want to change. Because I had shorts and a t-shirt on. So I thought, and flip-flops. I'm like, great. He's saying right now, you're good if you want to just stay as you are, which I did. So I
props to the guy who sets expectation.
Makes it really easy. It's sort of like either way, is it? But you're already in clothing appropriate for a massage for hands and feet.
Yeah.
So I just set some stuff down, left my normal attire on, didn't think about it. It did make more sense on round 2, neck, shoulders, back, that I just kept my shorts on and then put the robe on with no shirt on. To go in. So that at that point now, that's round 2, though. I'm prepared. I've had a few days to have acclimated to my first experience. I know where the locker room is. I know what to expect. I know what he's going to say when I get there. This was strategic in me picking something like hands and feet first.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
And that kind of answer too tells you how to handle it in the future, right? So that way you knew that like I don't need to take the shorts off for back and shoulders. Like I can keep the shorts for that. Because the only other way to get those answers, because it's way too awkward to just ask, would be just to assume. And like instead, maybe the question you would ask the guy is like, so if I want to go completely naked, is the robe still optional for hands and feet, or am I expected to wear this robe? That'd be the other option. Go so far the other way that they correct you backwards.
No, you definitely will want the robe, sir. Yes.
Okay. See, there you go.
I think they would have said that if I had asked, and would have been very polite about it. You would get lots of buenos dias and lots of hola. And as everywhere you went, everyone very friendly and very helpful. So I'm sure if I had asked, especially like the dumb American, like, should I be totally nude with no robe? They would have said, well, just robe. Robe is good.
Maybe keep the shield there, Cap.
Yeah. So,
Exactly.
But also speaking of first impressions of the country. So now, like you've gone through the airport and customs and everything, and you've seen a little bit of the outdoor area immediately around the airport and experienced that environment. And then on the shuttle drive to the resort, you're looking around. What were your first impressions maybe of the country? Did they match what the resort was? Does that make sense?
Yeah, interesting because it's not rainy season yet. Things were very dry and kind of almost like what I would expect. I don't want to go all the way to like the American Southwest, but like parts of Texas where if it's pretty dry, you can tell this is probably greener when it's rainy, but right now it's a lot of brown. But then the closer you get to the ocean, then you start to see some palm trees, then things feel much greener near the resort. And not just near the resort. We did spend an evening, we went into the closest town. We walked around and hit some shops. We went out to a restaurant in town. So we didn't just see the resort. We did get out. And even there, I found everyone to be super friendly. We were walking around this town at night, and much like many places that you go in the United States, you can go from like a pretty rundown house to a couple blocks away and be at some really nice walled-in houses with multiple levels and so, but I never felt unsafe. People never seemed, the whole vibe of Costa Rica, their thing is Pura Vida, pure life. It's like very just live life relaxed and enjoy it, and no countrywide military at all. There's no you start to get a sense as you talk to people, people just want to hang out by the beach. It's the evening, it's sunset. The kids will run around, we'll sit there and have a drink. And we're walking through these dark, weird neighborhoods that probably aren't the nicest part of this local town. And there's just some dude jogging. And then there's just some kids talking in the street. And then there's just some guy walking his dog. And then there's just some girl, she has a drink and she's walking to the beach. And so it's just everyone's very chill and laid back. I kind of expected it, but that's even more so than I thought. Either truly neutral or friendly or very friendly. I don't think we encountered anyone that seemed grumpy or annoyed or anything like that anywhere, except maybe the lawn chair security guy that was just kind of waving us through.
Well, Kendall asked what I was going to ask, but more from the perspective of I've heard stories of people going to other resorts in different parts of the world, not Central America, where it's like just outside the gates of the resort is like abject poverty and blue tarps and like, there are places like that where the juxtaposition of this all-inclusive resort that people do never leave. They go from the airport or the boat to the resort, and then they're sort of like ignoring the harsh realities just outside. So I was
to the extent that sometimes they're warned and told, like, don't leave the resort grounds.
Yeah, there was none of that. And in fact, when we were walking around the local town, I would say you were just as likely to go. And I would imagine some foreigners also have houses in the country too. So it's probably a mixture of nice and not nice or whatever. But you'd go through a block or block and a half that was a little more rundown. And then you'd hit clearly 3 or 4 people have remodeled and made some mini resort condo-y type, really nice houses. But it was all mixed in. And you didn't get any sense that it was like, you're not allowed over here and you're not allowed over here.
Yeah.
Like I just happened to buy this place here and flipped it and it's nice now and it's right next to stuff that's maybe not as nice, but it doesn't matter. Like people are just kind of chill and doing their thing anyways.
I love it.
So that part was really cool. In fact, there was even this like beachside, somebody took a couple shipping containers and made them into like a little bar where you could order food and drinks. And there was outdoor cornhole and like lights up the palm trees and some speakers, and like anyone could just walk up and hang out. And so you had a mixture of like the locals, and then you had a mixture of people that were clearly not local, and everyone's just kind of like, you're either by the beach or you're at the shack, or you're just listening to music and having some drinks and having a good time. So in that way, I thought it was, and this is just one part, right? Like we're not traversing the whole country,
For sure.
but like
Right.
between the resort and the closest town, that was our experience. But so that was all great. It was really, I would definitely go back to Costa Rica. It was really cool food wise, crushed a boatload of great food. And kind of highlighted by the little poolside shack. I think I ordered fish tacos easily 3 or 4 times while I was there. Highlighted by one trip with one of the guys there and his wife. She ordered a huge bowl of guac and chips. He got shrimp tacos. I got fish tacos. We ordered the jumbo shrimp entree as an appetizer and the shrimp cocktail as a second appetizer. Because when it's all inclusive, you're like, just that sounds good. Throw that in. What are patacones? Oh, they're like fried smashed plantains. Great, let's do that. Do you want cheese on it? Yeah, put cheese on it. And you're just like, just order it all. So I don't know. We tried a boatload of stuff, and it was all the food.
What
really
was
good.
the most unique thing that you tried, or something, a food item you hadn't heard of?
I had a seafood Asian noodle dish. So it was shrimp, mussels, and octopus in egg noodles that had a curry sauce.
Ooh.
And there was spinach like cooked into this sauce with the egg noodles, and then a big bowl of jasmine rice that I dumped over top of this seafood egg noodle curry. And it was freaking great. It was so good. And even by the way, the breakfast was like a buffet. So you could go get like chicken empanadas and quesadillas with omelets and all the fruit and fruit juices you could eat and drink and all of that. Like there was no shortage of like different kinds of dishes at different times. But that egg noodle dish was probably the most unique. Boatloads of shrimp tacos. These patacones were like, basically imagine a big round thin French fry, but it was made out of plantains. And then they'd sprinkle cheese on it and a little cilantro. And it was so freaking good. It was just like having a giant French fry with your meal. But I don't know. I tried tons of shrimp and fish and mussels and octopus, and I don't know. I think I had beef one time because it was like everything else is just going to be seafood and seafood related dishes.
Oh, love that for you.
Yeah, everywhere you go, it's like, yeah, I'll take a Coke, and they'll get a nice big glass of ice, and that was a ton of fun. Several times tried a bunch of desserts, which was really good.
So in our group text with Dad, he asked you to text from like your moment of Zen or your most peaceful moment. Was it the second spa visit?
It had to be the spa, probably the second spa. So the first spa visit was in an interior room. The second spa visit was a boardwalk out to these 4 outdoor rooms that are only concealed by curtains. And so they pull the curtains and the massage out. That had to be it. Also, walking along the waterfront. I've never been to the Pacific Ocean. So now we're at the Pacific Ocean in Central America. So sunset there, very good. Hanging out by the pool, very good.
I just shared the photo to our Instagram.
Yeah. So you can kind of see if you're looking, or if you go on Instagram and look, there's these 4 kind of little huts that they would close off, and you'd walk out through this like beach grasses kind of up around the edges of this boardwalk. I was off to the right in the one on the right, and that was, I don't know. She said like 10 minutes, and I'm thinking seems kind of short, but okay, cool, let's do it. Easily like 35-minute massage, and then it turned into arms and hands as well. It was so good. That had to be it. I think the coffee tasting, by the way, I don't want to skimp on that because Kendall, I know you would care. So they did. I also thought this would be fast. It was an hour and a half, and they made their sort of like local commercial coffee is called Brit, Britt. And he said that's like what airports and hotels and places use, and it's fine, but it would be like our, Folgers or something. I don't know, Starbucks or Folgers. The really good coffee, he's like, it's up in the jungle. It's Hacienda Docas. And he had 3 coffees from there, which you can order in the US, by the way, if you want to order some. He had 3 different coffees from there. He did one in a really old school wood kind of drip thing with a cotton filter. And then he did another one in like a ceramic pitcher thing that they use locally. That's like a high-end way to do it. And then he did a third one in a French press. And so he ground them all up right there. He did them all right there, and he was explaining it along the way. He was explaining it in English and in Spanish because there was people, visiting that spoke both languages. And so for an hour and a half, we just sat there and sampled coffee, and there was some like little cookies and stuff, and he's making it fresh, and we're chit-chatting, and it, up on this thing overlooking like palm trees in the ocean as we're sitting and sipping coffee.
So good, dude.
I love it.
So the coffee tasting was really, really great. That was a fun experience. So I figured you'd like that, but if you want to look it up, Hacienda Doca is the name of the coffee brand. You can order it in the US. I don't know, it's 20-ish bucks a bag, maybe something like that if you order it. But that was pretty cool. The coffee tasting was a very cool little side thing that I did.
Love it. I see pizza and 20 minutes scrolling.
Yep. Okay. So 2 questions for you on the flight back, and want to ask what which one do I start with? Pizza might be faster. So boarding the plane, don't remember which one, doesn't matter. Either Costa Rica to Miami or Miami to Columbus. Probably must have been Miami to Columbus. Lady walks on, I'm on the aisle, she's on the window seat. Her sorority friend from college, I'm guessing they're older than me, but they're like on some trip together, sitting in the middle. The one in the window doesn't bother me at all, but has a full large pizza box in her seat with her that she's eating from. Seems a little odd to me. Not that people would bring their own food, because you can certainly bring whatever from the airport. Just surprised to see a non-personal pan size large. She could have used it as, like when you're a kid and you have those little boards you set in your lap to do crafts.
Mm-hmm.
She could have used it for that in her seat.
Yeah.
In the airplane.
I respect the flex.
Kicking open the box, eats a slice of pizza, puts it down, falls asleep, wakes up, a little delirious, kind of hungry, kicks open the box, eats another slice.
I love it.
Back asleep again. What's the biggest thing that you would take? Would you take a whole large pizza on a flight with you?
Oh boy.
My first thought had nothing to do with size and everything to do with smell. For me, it's potentially more offensive to introduce a smell to someone's nostrils that they aren't planning on for a flight. And a hot pizza, it's going to smell delicious, but it's going to smell like a hot pizza for the next 10 rows.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm less concerned about what you hate seeing is somebody's got their like, somebody from a different land has a Tupperware full of something that they crack open, and you're like, really? So size doesn't bother me. As long as it's on your area, do what you want.
That's what I'm saying. I wasn't so much bothered by it, but I was surprised by it. Because that's not my, book it pizza from Pizza Hut, carrying on a 6-inch pizza, cheese, or Supreme.
Right.
This is like, you got a whole ass pizza.
That's amazing.
That like a small party could have consumed during a sporting event.
Did she share with her friend at all?
She might have offered, not that I heard. I throw headphones on. I'm kind of in my zone doing my own thing, but
I can see them like, it's one thing if they're like giggling, going, can you believe we did this? Oh my gosh, as they both partake.
Right.
Yeah.
I would not have been headphoning and ignoring it all. I would have been puppy dogging and hoping for some.
I really don't know if I was hungry at that point. I can't remember, but
not after that trip.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I guess I was full at that point, but
you had a long flight to get there first, and then now you're getting on another plane.
It wasn't terrible. They were both like 3 to 3.5 hours, like both legs.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't.
See my point, though. I mean, at some point, it's been a little while since your last meal, and now after the first 10 minutes of having to smell this pizza next to you, like,
Well, Kendall, you can appreciate I had not thought about what I was eating at all while I was there until the night before I fly back going into the next morning. And I'm thinking, Kendall would say he'd be cautious. So that morning I had I had to enjoy the breakfast buffet for one last time, but I actually ordered off the menu and I got a really great breakfast burrito. And I'm like, I'm probably not going to eat lunch now. Like, I'm going to have a nice big burrito because I had until the first flight out wasn't until 2 and I was eating at 7:30 in the morning. So I'm like, I'm going to just enjoy this burrito, then I'll be good for a while. So I probably was hungry, but I was not thinking about eating more at that point. I'm like, let's get home to my own restroom and I'll take care of anything else from there.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's where I would be too. And except I might have skipped dinner the day before. Like that might be how early I would have started.
Not only did I not skip it, I ordered 2 desserts. I wasn't gonna skip dinner. I couldn't do it. The food was way too good to skip dinner.
But about the time that I start feeling safe to eat again would be during the flight, where like I know within the next couple of hours I'm going to be off of a plane, at least in an airport where like it's no bit like, you know, no one's waiting on me once I get there and I'm not trying to make a schedule. Like I feel safe then. So like, and I know it's going to be a little while before this pizza wants to come out of me. So I can eat it on the flight there. But
yeah. What's the biggest thing you're bringing on a plane though, food wise? Like a 12-inch stub?
I probably something like that. Not only because I'm self-conscious. Like that's the only reason. Unfortunately, not because I'm trying to think about anybody else. It just, I don't want to be.
I don't even want to bring a drink on the plane. I'm thinking if they're going to have Biscoff and some sodas, I'm good. I'll just wait and have that mid-flight. Now, I've never flown, you know, the longest flight I've probably ever been on now is probably this trip, 3.5 hours or something. So like I can make between bathroom breaks between airports. I can go with some cookies and a soda in 3.5 hours and I'm totally fine. But I don't know, maybe on a really long flight, I couldn't do a large pizza. There's no way I could do that. But I could see myself doing a sub or something, or a small, medium or small pizza. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. So it would be for personal internal reasons, but not because I think there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
I've seen people go to a place that has like a famous donut shop and they'll bring the large donut box, but you can tell they're intending it to take most of it home. It's not like they're eating every donut.
Yeah.
But it's
that was
like
my thought when you first started telling that story is like I'm sure this lady probably like she has a friend back home who loves this pizza place in Miami for some reason, even though like I hear from people that like Florida notoriously has bad pizza places. But she was just like so hungry that and I would fall down this trap too. I was like, one won't hurt.
I was going to say, if she's not even sharing with her friend next to her, she's definitely not taking any home to her friend back home.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The other thing that happened on the flight, I'm very aware of a gentleman 1 row up to the right of me, also on the aisle. I just happened to look up right when he got out headphones and plugged them into a tablet, and he's using the airline's website to watch a movie. And Corey, you would know far better than I. Roughly, how many movies do you think they have to choose from on there? I don't have any real sense.
150, 200.
Okay. So I happened to look up when he first, I could see on his iPad, he's like hit the connect and then the movies pop up. And I happened to look down at the time. I don't know why I looked down at the time, but I happened to look down at the time. And I'm watching something, but he's still kind of, you know, somebody can't be doing this gesture where they're like swiping on a thing without sort of like catching your corner of your eye. So I'm like, I keep looking up and see him kind of doing this on the thing. 20 minutes. He's looking, zero exaggeration, to the minute. 20 minutes he's looking through the same movies. And I'm thinking, I'm a third of the way through the film that we started, sir. That 1/3 of the way through, and he's still flipping through movies for 20 minutes.
Google says 500 is the average. So
that's
I was a
wild.
little low.
I would never have guessed that many. So I'm thinking he's looking for something new or something he really, really wants to watch. Finally, he picks a movie. I really want to ask. This is one of those moments where I want to pause and ask, like, hey, I just like picking this apart. Put me in your head for a second while you were for 20 minutes while you were looking for a movie. At that point, he's running out of time. I got to let him watch his film. But he lands on Along Came Polly, which is, I don't know, a 15-year-old movie, something like that. The guy can like whatever he wants to like. That's fine. But I'm just very surprised that it took this long, and I'm very surprised at the selection. So I am in the position where I have downloaded, knowing that I'd probably only watch 3 or 4, I've probably downloaded 20 movies 30 movies that I could pick between all of these flights, depending on my mood, depending on how much time I have. And he's just freeballing it on the movie selection for 20 minutes. And so at what point I understand I understand when you're sitting at home with your spouse and you can't decide on something because you're both playing the game in your head of, but do I think they want to watch this? Do they really want to watch this? Is this a thing? Are they just being agreeable? I understand that whole thing taking longer. I just don't understand you're an individual with one set of headphones on, boop, one set of headphones on, one tablet, you're picking for yourself. Along Came Polly. I don't understand how you can spend 20 minutes looking for something. That feels obscene to me. So my question was, Corey, you travel more. You typically travel with things downloaded, correct?
Sometimes. I do now because I have YouTube Premium, but I'll typically for longer flights, I'll have like 1 or 2 backup movies if I feel like I might not be able to find something on the plane.
And if you use the plane, do you feel like it's a generally good selection to where you can choose within minutes?
Yes.
Like it's not hard to find.
I do an initial pass where I flag the 3 out of the 150 that I think I'd like to watch that. And some airlines have like a favorite button that you can push. So you push the star or the heart, it puts it in a little category that you can save for the longer flights. And you've already gone through once and flagged 3 to 5.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. I had no, it 20 minutes without exaggeration felt like a very, and I just want to stress to people, I'm not saying 20 and it was 5 because I'm being comedic. I literally looked at the time and it was literally 20 minutes, not 12 and felt like 20, actually 20 minutes of just scrolling and like back and forth scrolling.
I wish you would have just been like, what are you looking? What is it like? You just think it'll strike your fancy once you see it? Was he reading descriptions?
Yeah, I was going to say, was he reading? Was he doing research or just looking at titles?
I wanted to know. I felt like if I said something, Polly was never going to come along, and he wouldn't make it. He wouldn't make it to the finish on his flight. Did
you have that ready? Did you have that ready?
No, I just thought of that actually.
Okay, good job. Buddy. I get doing this if you're trying to get to the letter T because you have a movie in mind that you want to watch.
Yeah.
But like to just do that willy-nilly feels just unhinged.
Crazy. And look, I can't. He had an iPad. He had a big iPad Pro. This guy technologies, he's done this before. You don't take an iPad Pro on a plane with no experience with tech or knowing what you're doing. I just blew my mind. Again, this is like the pizza thing. I wasn't offended. I'm just surprised. And this kind of stuff I find fascinating. I don't know. I was no question. I looked through my 20 or 30 movies and I would say without exaggeration, within 60 seconds, I was like, yep, gonna watch that. Play. Ready to go. That one's over. Ready for another one? Another 60 seconds. Cool. That. Good. Bing. Play. Done.
Yeah, the worst I'll do is like I'll favorite it and then go, you know what? I'd rather watch that one on a big screen at home with a better sound system. So I'll take that one off the list. That's like the most thought I'll put into it. But that's funny.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, I'm so glad you shared with us about your trip in such detail. And thank you for letting us pick apart the experience with all of our questions. Hopefully we didn't derail you too much, but it's why From the Middle is great, y'all. A luxury experience from a centrist point of view. I loved hearing about that, and you deserve it. So I know you work hard for your company, and you should be proud that you were chosen by your peers.
I genuinely felt that way. I was genuinely grateful. At no point, we did a little thing at dinner one night where, what did they say? A high point, low point, and what was the last one? Something else silly. And it was, but we were talking a little bit about the trip in the day and things that had gone, we were enjoying and not. And they said something similar. You deserve it. I said, I genuinely can say that it was never a question of deservedness. I didn't feel unworthy to have been chosen. I just felt like other people could have been chosen and it would have made just as much sense. So I just felt grateful that I happened to be the one to be picked.
Which is why you enjoyed it so much. It's the attitude of gratitude.
I had a lovely time. I was struck in over and over by how different it was than any other trip that I had been on and how many firsts that it represented. And it was just genuinely such a lovely time. I would totally go back to Costa Rica. It was great.
That's awesome. Glad you got to experience it, buddy. You want to save streaming till next time?
Yeah, that's so. I'll tell you what I watched on the flights another time. I got to rip through 3 movies. No 20-minute wait times for me picking. I'll tell you the 3 things that I watched. Nothing that was super new anyway. So stuff we can talk about anytime. But we can talk about that. I'm sure you guys will have stuff to catch me up on too.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for joining Middlers. We appreciate your listenership and viewership. If you're following along on YouTube, you got some of those screenshots or screen sharing if you are on YouTube of some of the places Dillon was mentioning. Thank you to Artius Man, who is our sponsor, who makes amazing men's grooming products and bath and body products. You can go to artiusman.com, fill your cart with great stuff made right here in Central Ohio with all natural products. Really good guy. Jeff owns the company. We would really appreciate you supporting him. It helps us a little bit because we get a kickback. Go to artiusman.com, artiusman.com. Use promo code The Middle in the promo box at checkout to get 25% off your order. And somebody we don't thank enough, Samson111, who did our intro song. It's the second version he's done for us. I think he's just dropped some new songs for sure, and I don't know if it's a part of a bigger project, but follow Samson111 on SoundCloud, I think, and Instagram. You'll find him. He's great, and we really appreciate that he did that little ditty for us. So it's been good hanging out with y'all, and we will see you next week on From the Middle.
See ya.